Hello, this is a presentation that accompanies our article, Obfuscating Systemic Racism, a Critical Policy Discourse Analysis on the Operation of Neoliberal Ideas in Media Representation of a School District State Takeover. We'll introduce ourselves, discuss our purpose in conducting this research and writing this article, and provide a brief account of the important local history to this research question. To wrap it up, we will offer what we found and how this research could apply in other situations. I'm Trish Lopez, a doctoral student in the public policy program at the University of Arkansas with an education focus. I've been a teacher for over 9 years in a couple of school districts and currently teach 5th grade at Springdale Public Schools in Arkansas.
I'm Holly Shepard Riesco, a third-year doctoral student in curriculum instruction and English education at the University of Arkansas. I have previously taught in Arkansas Public Schools for 15 years prior to entering the doctoral program.
Hi, I'm Chris Goering. I'm a professor of English education at the University of Arkansas, and I've been working in Arkansas for the last 16 years, preparing teachers and teachers of teachers.
Our interest in this topic stems from reading other studies which suggest state takeovers happen most often in urban, majority Black communities. We wanted to examine if media portrayals of a decision to continue or end state control supported, called out, or refuted this pattern of systemic racism. Our method of examining the media, critical policy discourse analysis, allowed us to examine the arguments put forth in the media which influence state and local policy, like the decision for control of the school district.
The history of Little Rock provides additional context and understanding that helps situate our study. The Little Rock Nine were blocked from integrating Little Rock Central High School in 1957 by order of the governor at that time. The Little Rock Nine and the protests that stem from the integration provide an example of the segregated and inequitable recent history of the district and state. After integration, white families often moved to surrounding suburbs throughout the 1960s and 70s, and desegregation litigation has challenged the inequitable funding of schools and districts around the city.
Our interest in the topic, as well as the particular points of interest in the case of Little Rock, led us to the research question, how did the media portray the issues, actors, and proposed solutions surrounding the 2019 decision to continue or terminate state control of the Little Rock School District in Arkansas?
We used critical discourse policy analysis, a method of carefully reading and analyzing media, to examine news articles about control of the Little Rock School District. We conducted a search of news articles using terms like Little Rock School District, takeover, state control, and school choice. Most articles came from 2 state news sources. We found 2 argumentative frames present in the news articles. Articles and quotes that followed a neoliberal frame argued from a perspective that focused on the state's obligation to help schools. These articles and quotes often promoted school choice and competition as a method for helping schools meet standards. They also took a colorblind perspective in which quantitative scores on achievement tests are considered a true reflection of student ability. Articles or quotes that followed the social reform frame argued against this colorblind perspective, suggesting there is no race-neutral policy and that local control of school districts was the best way to support students.
While both the neoliberal and social reform frames were present, the neoliberal frame dominated news articles as well as the solutions that were eventually proposed in this instance. In order to make the argument that systemic racism was occurring, proponents of the social reform frame had to focus on disparate effects, or things that affected one group more than another. Despite these arguments, the proposed solution in this case was a compromise with many components of the neoliberal perspective incorporated. As such, critical policy discourse analysis was a useful method for studying the media. Our study supported others which argue that both researchers looking to media as a source, as well as everyday readers looking to media for information, should take a critical stance toward media, as the language used in news articles helps promote different argumentative views in nuanced ways.
Currently, entire states are rejecting the facts of systemic racism under the false pretense of an imaginary CRT boogeyman. This will surely create educational contexts of the future designed to disadvantage students from non-dominant backgrounds. While data for our study was collected and analyzed in a previous context, it could be used to understand the present and future policies as they connect to racism as well.